Hey everyone, how are you guys doing? All right, so I did a long video last time about what success really means, and I gave an overall description, but really I didn't go into too much detail, and I will take this time to elaborate on a few of my findings when it comes to like the concept of leaving a legacy is family oriented. Like, people take pride in saying, "Oh yeah, my uncle was, I'd say, an engineer, and he did it for cars, and I'm doing it for computers," or, you know, the whole the whole concept of family oriented everything, especially with my background, like always being on my own and really having to figure everything out on my own, and having people claim to want to help you but really there for their own benefit and profit. And that's a whole other video together, because people want you to need them, you know and that's all. But that's a whole other video put together. But when the concept of success, meaning is you're leaving a legacy, all right, which from the perspective of someone who's very individually oriented is practically bullshit. um, because if you know that I'm gonna outlive my family, what's the point of doing that for them? Somebody please explain that concept to me. That why would I do something for someone else who's not going to be here any longer than I am? And see, that's how the system manipulates you, all right, into saying your life has to amount to something as trivial as leaving a legacy. Leave good memories. Leave good personal, all right, intimate connections behind, where I can say, wow, I can't believe I spent that much time with that person, and the journey was amazing. And like, that contributes more to leaving a legacy for me behind than doing something that's, purely based on the ego of a family lifeline. Besides, who said your life had to amount to anything? Like, honestly, after traveling as much as I have and been homeless a couple of times, I tell you, I know practically bums, all right? I know drug addicts and homeless people who have a far better perspective, all right, than some of those CEOs running the companies today, all right, or some of the managers running certain companies or certain businesses today, all right? And the purpose of life is to live it. And we all ultimately we all get where we're trying to go, all right? Just don't be fixated on how to get there, or don't be too conscious of what you're leaving behind when it comes to such a thing as a successful legacy. Sure, you have to make sure you don't leave too much damage behind, or you don't fuck too many people over to where when people look back at your life, they're gonna just remember an asshole and not someone who was who was actively enjoying life, and have others enjoy the life that he was living in. Because ultimately, that's what is success. As I said, if you're thinking about it in monetary terms and materialistic terms, like Eddie Griffin said it like Egyptians try to bury everything with them, and they're digging it up today. So if that's your concept of leaving a legacy, like, yeah, a bunch of stuff is not going to contribute, because in the end, all you're leaving behind is a rotten corpse, all right? and certain memories from the outside world of that corpse. Stuff ain't gonna matter. You think when, let's say for example, right, I'm not advocating anyone dying at this particular moment in time, but let's say for example Floyd Mayweather died. Are they really gonna remember the 15 cars he had? Or the 10 somewhat houses he had? Or are they gonna say, you know what, he left a type of memory of what could be achieved. He took his body to places. He achieved something that very few achieved. And yes, monetary stuff came as a result, but I doubt that in the beginning of Floyd Mayweather's career, he said, like, I'm going to leave a legacy of that behind. Because ultimately, regardless, a guy like Floyd, for example, I don't know him personally, but I'd say if his legacy that he thought he would leave behind would have just been monetary, I doubt he would have had the career span that he had. But again, success is a very individual thing, and that is something that is gonna have to be discovered individually, because they're trying to make success seem like it's a collective. If it contributes to the collective, so be it. But ultimately, success, as it should be, is leaving behind great memories. I even remember at shouts out to Vlad TV for this. Like I remember Boosie even saying, like, how could it be that with all the money in the world, Boosie having more fun than Bill Gates? Boosie is a rapper. Bill Gates is Bill Gates. Now you tell me a rapper can have more fun in life than Bill Gates? That alone should clearly prove that monetary stuff does not include happiness. Material wealth does not include happiness. It is a result of the inner happiness you already have. People use that expression, oh yeah, it's better to cry in a Bugatti than a bus. Yet they tell you to cut out emotion. But you'd rather cry in a Bugatti than in a bus. Look, crying is crying. It doesn't matter where you do it. So, I don't care if I have to cry in the bushes. I'll still cry. So, somebody please tell me, like, what does that say anything? The only thing that quote, that saying ever told me is that it doesn't matter what you have, you still feel. You're still an emotional being. And you need to express those emotions no matter where you are. That's the only thing that quote ever told me. But whether it comes to material wealth contributing to any type of happiness, that perspective alone will break the entire thing up. So, yeah, what does success mean? Leave something behind. All right? Hitler left a legacy. All right? Stalin left a legacy. But I doubt it was the legacy any of them ever wanted to have in mind. As I said, there's a reason Hitler was obsessed with the paranormal. Hitler wanted to become an artist. Trust me, what he wanted up doing versus what he ended up doing left a legacy behind. Now you ask yourself what kind of legacy you want to leave behind. Because ultimately, everyone want to live a holy and spiritual life. Everybody wants to leave a life thinking you won't leave something messy behind. So when you're telling me I want to leave a legacy behind, like what you're telling me is I want to leave a mess behind. I want to leave a mess behind me. And that's exactly why the world is where it is right now. Because too many people wanting to leave mess behind and attribute that to a legacy. Trust me. Legacy at the end of your days won't mean shit. All that you're telling me when you're saying about I want to live a legacy is like you want to live a life where I leave a mess behind for other people to clean up. That's a legacy. Said it too many times. Hitler wanted to leave a legacy. Stalin, Mussolini wanted to leave a legacy. Osama wanted to leave a legacy. Bush wanted to leave a legacy. You tell me. Have we accomplished our legacy? So we have a very fucked up view of what it means to leave behind a legacy or to be successful. Because when most people think about in terms of being successful is leaving behind a legacy. And again, I say it, what you're really telling me is I want to leave a big mess behind. You tell me. Starting to think a little bit different about that, all that success, all that leaving behind a legacy bullshit, right? You tell me. Man, I'm pumped right now. I can't wait to go to the gym. Get all this legacy out of my system. I can't wait to push some legacy out. All right? Now put that mess, put that idiocracy out of your brain. Leaving a legacy behind. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. All that leaving a legacy behind is exactly where the world is, where it is right now. No bullshit. No cap. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, man. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been fun. All this, all these situations, all these changes, all these shifts will make a motherfucker go crazy if he don't know himself. So yeah, part 2 of why success is bullshit. And yeah, man. And you know what? After all I said, and if I reflect on my own life, I thought about leaving a legacy at one point. But really figuring out that that was the only thing I had to hold on to. Because reality around me was beyond shit. Was beyond destructive. Art saved my life to a certain extent. And leaving a legacy is what held that thought process together. But ultimately, after not succeeding in the art academy, I pretty much figured out that my version of leaving a legacy was just leaving a big mess behind it. Afterwards, I didn't accomplish a damn thing. I didn't. And ultimately, my reasons for doing it didn't align with why I was actually doing it anymore. That doesn't mean I don't do it. That doesn't mean I don't still like to do it. But as you move forward and as you grow wiser, you really change your reasoning for why you do. And especially when you know your own mind, you trust me, I look at how I used to think. Like, my thought process is different now than it was last week. Now imagine 15 years ago. I have drastically changed. Because I've woken up to what a successful life means to the outside world versus what it meant for me. And I did a video on me and my family struggles, which amounted exactly to that. Other people's version of what they wanted from me was not what I wanted from me. So have that concept be really true, because you're being streamlined into thinking you're either a Jeff Bezos type millionaire, all right, or a playboy philanthropist, or you're nothing. one or two ways. And there's more to life than just that, believe me. Like, your inner journey alone might take you a good chunk of your lifetime to figure that out. And I'm making another video soon called Why 30 is a New 20, for just that reason. Like, not everyone is growing the same, especially with these times. Like, I always said, if I could do it differently now, not saying I would, but if I would do it differently, I probably wouldn't have even finished high school. And again, not advocating for people not to finish high school, but that's just the truth of how I've seen everything go. And with that being said, I got a lot more shit to do. Got to hit the gym. So, like I said, get some of that legacy out. All right? Because it's just like negative thoughts. All right? It's bullshit. It's like George Carlin said, it's all bullshit and it's bad for you. All right? So don't let clouded judgment really affect how you live your life. Because most of the successful people will tell you that the success being advocated that you should chase, they were not thinking of. All right? So, yeah, be real to what it is that resonates with you. And trust me, you'll be a lot further along the way. Whether it be monetary, or whether it be wisdom, or whether it be whatever you seek in this world. As long as you do it for the right reasons, and if your intent is pure, universe got your back. Mother Earth got your back. All right? God's got your back. Whatever form you decide to worship, call him. All right? So, having said that, everyone, y'all guys take good care, and it's been real. All right? Ciao.